they've met. It's my ex.
Your ex?
Yeah.
So, what happened?
Particular thing because I'm holding it on my chest.
And what exactly happened? You haven't said.
Right.
So yeah, me and my ex, so obviously Deborah knows me and my ex, we train together. Like why train, I should say. Obviously, normally it's virtual. But there must have been a time where we decided to change up a little bit. When we met face to face, I guess after this session, things felt a bit different, I guess. Conversation in the car for about, give or take 4 hours.
Not 4 hours, a whole conference.
Are you prepared to tell Deborah today about this scenario?
You know how she just acted a few seconds ago, thinking about a particular person, like.
Okay, so it looks like Paul isn't the only villain when it comes to this show. Deborah's intuition was very strong and it did not fail her at all.
If you say you're training or doing what you're doing, let's all look at your phone together. Me, you, Denise, let's go. Like, I don't get why he called me here to be stupid. Like, it's therapy, you just have to answer the question. Do you get what I mean?
Hey guys, it's Admiral. Hope you guys are doing well today. Back at it again with another video. If you haven't subscribed, click that button, guys. For daily and consistent content, head over to my Instagram, my Patreon, my merch, and let's get straight into this video. Blue Therapy, guys, is literally carrying Trend Central right now. It is the it show and has been for the last 4 weeks. It's an amazing setup. Whoever thought of this idea, absolutely amazing in terms of couples sitting there in therapy. Hopefully they can diversify and bring in more couples and maybe some people from Backchat and whoever they're seeing as well, because that would also be very entertaining. I would love to see Nunu on the show, maybe even Azraya on the show with somebody, maybe even Esther on the show with somebody. I think that in itself would be very interesting. Sorry, I just had a whole box of blueberries, so yeah. But anyways, it looks like Deborah was right. She storms out, she gets very upset because, she puts her phone down, and I can kind of see that if you are literally in an intimate relationship with somebody, why are you hesitant when it comes to somebody asking to go through your phone? What are you hiding? What is going on? What is the privacy? Everybody is entitled to their own privacy, but the hesitancy when it comes to that, maybe can allude to the fact that you're talking to somebody else, you're being unfaithful, and that's exactly what is happening here. Jemel clearly is being unfaithful. He admitted to being in the car with his ex for 4 to 5 hours. What are you doing for 4 to 5 hours? I don't even know. Like, I don't even know where were you going, what were you guys talking about, a whole conference, a lecture. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that is way too much time, and I find that to be very weird. She goes out, talks to her friend, and of course, hopefully this might be the end, but I do, feel like it ended on a great cliffhanger because now everybody is keen to see Deborah's reaction. What is she going to say? She's very reactive, she's going to get upset, it's going to be drama, it's going to be entertaining. People are going to be tuned in for that episode especially, so they ended it on a very clever note. And of course, Denise was trying to get it out of his chest, and clearly he was, I want to keep it real, Jemel is a very bad actor. To me, I know this is all fake. I just know it is, and I just feel like Jemel is just a very bad actor. Chioma is a great actress, Paul is Paul, and so is Deborah, but I just feel like Jemel keeps giving it away here and there. He doesn't act as great as I thought he did. Initially, he did in the first episode, but I feel like as they're carrying along, his acting isn't even, like, it's not that great. But Paul isn't the only villain. He is too, he's cheated, and all of her intuitions, which made her seem crazy at sometimes, some of the stuff was, a bit crazy when it comes to the gifts here and there, but clearly she did feel like, she wasn't being loved enough, or, wasn't being center of attention, and that is the reason why he's obviously playing around with one of his clients, and that client is also his ex, also somebody that Deborah knows. So that kind of betrayal, guys, is huge. So I don't even know how she's going to react, but I know she's going to blow up. Now, when it comes to Paul and Chioma, of course, they return, and Paul is upset that Chioma is now seeing someone in terms of a business relationship that does websites that Paul could do as well. And I feel like Chioma had great points. Why didn't you ask me or help me before, sir? You knew I was doing all this. You could have came to me if you loved me, and etc, etc. But now I've created this business relationship. Now that he's nearly completed the transaction, now that he's nearly completed the website, suddenly you want to halt everything, and that in itself is disrespectful to him. If you are a business person, as Paul claims to be, he'll be able to see that and allow that to carry on, and he clearly didn't. And I feel like he likes to be very selfish, very self-centered, and it's all about him.
The situation had been locked off.
There's those slimy type of guys, those guys, those boys, if you know, and he's one of those guys. Whether he sees this or not, he knows that we know who he is, And a person like that, to be fair, you need to keep them away from your partner.
I won't sleep with him. So if that's your worry, leave it. It's fine.
Now, set aside from the actual narrative of the show, Paul is a great actor. He is also carrying the show, and I'm just so here for him from that perspective. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's hilarious. Even the kind of comedy sketches, even the noises that he comes out with in terms of his reactions ended up going viral as well. And he tries to bring Denise into it as like a third person or a different perspective continuously to allow Chioma to see it from a different side that doesn't even exist. He constantly does that because he feels like he's being invalidated. When in actual fact, Chioma is the one that's being invalidated. Chioma is the one who isn't being loved on enough at all. Clearly, we saw from the last episode when it comes to the sex life as well. And obviously, you know, him calling her rather large and fat, let's just say, and she got very upset, emotional, and she walked out. Great acting. Great acting by Chioma. But that kind of lack of sensitivity, that lack of communication, he doesn't see that. They both see different things. I don't think these two are compatible, and I've said it from episode 1 that Chioma needs to run for the hills. These two don't seem to be working well together. They're not going to be working well together. It doesn't make any sense to me. In the real world, I don't even think Chioma would even go with someone like this. Like, I just don't think she would do that. I genuinely don't think she would do that. But clearly, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, clearly it was love at first sight for Paul, because at that point of time, Paul was definitely a stranger. You know, why would I owe my loyalty to somebody that I'm seeing on the first date? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? So, you know, a lot of his points are illogical, but he likes to drown them out to make them seem illogical, to kind of boost his ego, boost his pride, and he just isn't able to see Chioma's point. He never has consistently throughout. Daily and consistent applies to his logic as well, because there's no logic there. He doesn't see her side continuously, and that in itself is a major problem, because if you don't see where somebody is coming from, the communication becomes pointless, because you're going to be missing each other's points continuously. I feel like Chioma tries to understand him, but he doesn't try to understand her. He needs to run. At one point, people were saying Chioma and Jemel. No, Chioma needs to just be on her once. Chioma needs self-love at this point of time.
Chioma hasn't come back home. I have no idea what that's about. That's not normal to me.
You brought up a situation that happened when we met, not even when we started dating.
Chioma,
when we met.
Do you really want to do this?
I'm doing it. What are you talking about?
I definitely need an apology from Chioma. She hasn't been home. She's not responding to the messages, not responding to the calls, but she's posting on social media. Because
clearly these guys are just an absolute mess. I do feel like even Deborah herself has been problematic. You know, she isn't the perfect girl out here, but at the end of the day, if Jemel is cheating, which she basically is admitting to, then, you know, her doubts were all justified. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this. This show is carrying the network, and I feel like it's doing very well. All of the episodes have got over 1 million views. They should be extremely proud of themselves, because it's just a great format. Hopefully they can, you know, expand on this. Don't go too excited now and run to the US. Well, let's just wait for a minute now and, you know, establish yourself here for a while before you guys go to any other countries. Hopefully they can take lesson when it comes to backchat from the early seasons, which were doing well. I feel like they should just be a bit slow with this. It's being very successful for them, and hopefully they will film another season in this year of different couples. But maybe keep Paul and Chioma, because they are absolutely hilarious. Especially Paul, he's a staple of the show, and he's just a comedy, like a pure comedy. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this. What are your thoughts when it comes to this episode and the reactions? I'm going to read out the comments below and see what everyone is saying. Someone said Jemel is shady, but even before this, I've been saying he shouldn't be with Deborah. The sister thing last week sealed it. But even more, if he wanted a house and she wants to be on the scene, he shouldn't have got with her in the first place. Now we cheated on her, and of course that explains his shady nature. If you don't plan on marrying me, I don't know who the hell is going to put up with you. Chioma, you don't have to make the sacrifice for the world. Run. Paul needs to stop being mean to the therapist. She's not the cause of your problem, you are. So at first, Mandem Jemel fancied his girlfriend's sister. Secondly, he bought only for himself a ticket for Afro Nation, and now he's low-key confessing that he's cheating. Deborah needs to stop. Deborah needs to drop him like a hot potato. Right, the Afro Nation stuff. This therapist is really going to need her own session after hearing this shit. If you don't plan on marrying me, I don't know who the hell is going to put up with you. Oh yes, he needed to hear that, because I'm pretty sure no one would put up with Paul and his attitude. Jamal's whole body language shows he is guilty. Why is one so defensive and irritated if he's not doing anything wrong? If this is fake, the acting's been world class, because for Jemel to be losing composure and spilling the beans like this is unbelievable. If Paul doesn't say high net worth clients, he'll choke. I'm dead. How many times did Jemel say Christina isn't the one to worry about? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, who is the one to worry about? Becky? Susan? Claire? Hillary? Humphrey? Like, please. This poor guy's a joker, too full of himself. Paul needs to eat more Nigerian dishes again. The brother is lost. Even if blue therapy is fake, these are real life issues, and real life couples like these four exist. Besides, why can't you guys just enjoy a good show? Denise, you had a good week. Paul, is that a trick question? LMIO. So yeah, a lot of it's a very interactive show because, as I said, as people are saying, the relationships seem to be real because they're very relatable. People understand that, they've been through it, they experience it, therefore they will project and put their own thoughts and comments on this as well. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Subscribe to the channel, click that button for daily and consistent content. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.